Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Jeanette, aka Sweet Jean. I thought I'd come on here and kind of give you guys an update and kind of a rundown of my chemotherapy history. I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, which is lifelong, in 2016. And I have been on chemotherapy nonstop since 2016. The type of cancer I have is very aggressive, and so they started me off with a very aggressive chemo combination. I started off with Herceptin, Perjeta, and Taxotere, and then I was also put on Zometa, which is a bone strengthener. The Taxotere is the one that causes hair loss. So within a few weeks of taking it, I lost all my hair. I was actually bald. I didn't have any hair on any part of my body. So that chemotherapy was very, very tough. Like, it kicked my butt. And I'm sure you guys are aware, or most of you should probably, or not should, but most of you guys are probably aware of the type of symptoms associated with chemotherapy, and the chemotherapy that I was on definitely had all those symptoms. I had nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, sometimes like daily and multiple times throughout the day, abdominal cramping, muscle cramping, body aches, pains, fatigue, just tired all the time. The Zometa, which was a bone strengthener, I believe that was the one that caused me to feel like my bones were just so heavy. Walking was somewhat difficult. Even like walking upstairs, I wouldn't be able to do it. The weeks following, 1 to 2 weeks following my infusion, because I used to get it in my Metaport right here. I would get it every 3 weeks. I would go to the infusion center at my oncologist's office, sit in a chair. They'd hook me up to, an IV, and I would sit there for about 5 hours, and they would give me a bag of, what was the first bag? I think it was, what is it? Something to counteract any kind of allergic reaction, and then saline. Then they would give me the Perjeta, and then saline, and then the Herceptin, saline, Zometa, and then this saline. They wouldn't put two chemos back to back, because they didn't want the two chemos to mix. I don't know, something to that effect. But I was on that chemotherapy for about a year and a half, and then there was some progression. The cancer spread after a year and a half to my right lung. And the reason why I know that it spread is because typically stage 4 cancer patients have a CAT scan usually every 3 months, just to keep track of the cancer and to see if it's stable, which means that it's not growing, it's just there where it's at, or if it progresses. And after a year and a half of being on this chemotherapy, mine progressed to my right lung, so I had to switch medications, had to switch chemotherapy. And so that I was kind of like, it's just, you get anxious, you get anxiety, because you don't know what the new chemotherapy's symptoms are going to be, if it's going to be better, if it's going to be worse, or if it's going to be the same. And the first year and a half with that Herceptin, Perjeta, and Taxotere combo, it kicked my butt. I mean, I lost 80 pounds in the first year of taking it, and there were days that I didn't know if I could continue. I didn't know how much more my body could take. I didn't know how much my heart could take. and it put me in a deep depression, and I hid it from everybody, except for a few people. I think like my sister kind of got a little bit of idea of how I felt, and my mom knew, because I had to live with, well, I didn't have to, but I went to live with her the first year and a half, because I had to have emergency spinal surgery, and I needed to have someone help take care of me. And so my mom, she said, come home, I'll take care of you. And so I went to go live with her for a year and a half. And so she kind of knew like the depths of like my depression, of like, I mean, I was like lost. I was like in such sorrow and despair. And I don't think she knew the actual depths, but she had an idea of how depressed I was. And she knew that I had thoughts of dying, of not going on. It was just that bad. And I thought to myself, I don't know if I could do this for the rest of my life, because stage 4 is lifelong. You're on chemo for the rest of your life. And I didn't know how much, like I said, I could take. And so when that chemotherapy stopped working, like I said, it moved to my lungs. They put me on a different chemotherapy, which was in pill form, so I didn't have to go in and get infusions, in my Metaport, which is here. I would be taking it orally. It was in pill form. I had to take 12 pills a day, and they were huge. I have them over there, I should show you, but I was on Ticarb and Xeloda, and I think they're called capecitabine and Lepatinib. Those are like the pharmaceutical names, I guess. So I had to take those every day. So I was on, chemo daily. Like I said, it's lifelong. You'll never not be on you'll never not be on treatment. And the side effects on that one was not as rough, thank God. I had my appetite back, and I wasn't as nauseous, and the first chemotherapy made me lose taste. Like, I didn't have taste. I didn't have the desire to eat. Like, I would smell the food and it smelled so good, and my mom would try to entice me with home cooked food, because I could smell her cooking. And I'd go to sit down and I couldn't eat. Like, I felt nauseous. My throat would swell up. Like, I couldn't eat. So that's why I had lost so much weight. But anyhow, this new medication that they put me on, the pills, I had my appetite back. I was eating. I wasn't nauseous as much. The only thing that I really had was fatigue, just tired. I still had aches and pains. Actually, I have more body cramps and aches and pains with this new chemotherapy because I'm on it daily. The only difference is that it's not as harsh. It's hard to say whether or not it's not that it's not as harsh. It's just a different feeling, a different type. I get them sporadically throughout the day, and it's just, they're erratic, and sometimes they only last for a few seconds, and sometimes they last for a few minutes, where it takes my breath away. Like, I'm hunched over. I can't barely walk. Every step hurts. My body inside, my muscles are just twisting under my skin. Sometimes I have to lay down thinking that might help alleviate the pain, and it doesn't. I have to hold my breath, and sometimes I get the feeling inside me like if I'm having contractions. I don't know, it sounds weird, but so I still was getting that, but it was just a different type of hurt than the first chemotherapy that I was on. So anyhow, so the pills, I was taking them every day, 12 a day, and the symptoms were not as harsh. I still have them daily, but they were just not as harsh. And so, as some of you may or may not know, the cancer spread to, or not to, the cancer in my breast doubled in size. So, in a week or two, I will be starting on a third chemotherapy. They're going to stop the pills that I'm on now, the Ticarb and the Xeloda, and they're going to put me on something else. And I am getting anxiety. I'm trying not to, but I haven't even Googled it because I don't want to know what the symptoms are yet, because I'll just make myself worry. I'll make myself sick. The anxiety will get to me, and I don't want to think about it. So I haven't even looked it up. I know the name of the medication. It starts with an A. I have it written down somewhere in my purse, but I haven't looked it up yet because I don't want to know what the symptoms are. So I have an appointment on Monday, which is in a couple of days, for teaching is what they call it. Every time your medication changes, you have to have a teaching with one of the nurses. She goes over the medication that you'll be on, how often I'll have to go to get infusions, what the side effects are, the types of food that I need to avoid that may counteract with the medication. I know my first round of chemo back in 2016, the Herceptin, Perjeta, Taxotere, I couldn't eat certain foods like grapefruit. And I love grapefruit. I love to drink grapefruit juice, like the Ruby Red. And like I craved it, and I haven't had grapefruit since 2016. And so she's going to go over, the certain medications I need to stay away from. Like I said, the side effects, the how often I'll have to go in, and I'm gonna ask her typically how long are people out of commission, because I'm working 15 hours a week, and I'm lucky that my job has been such a blessing to me and working with me as far as how many hours I can work and my schedule. My doctor has released me to go back to work, so I went back, and they've just been so sweet, like working around me, working around my chemo, working around what I can and can't do. I used to test on patients. I was one of the vestibular neurotechnicians at my ENT clinic, and when I came back, obviously I couldn't be testing on patients anymore, so I have like a desk job that I do other things. And so I just feel that I need to get out of the house and work. I have bills to pay, and I wish sometimes that I didn't have to work, but I have to work. Only because by the end of the day, my neck and my back is killing me. But I know if I didn't work, I'd want to go to work because I want to get out of the house and interact with other adults, be responsible, feel like I'm helping out in some way, and pay bills. I have medical insurance that isn't free. I have to pay for it. And I only work 15 hours a week, which basically pays for all the taxes and medical insurance and everything else. So I don't get a big check, but it's enough to hold me over. But anyhow, this isn't about that. It's basically saying that I've been on chemotherapy nonstop since 2016. I'll be starting a new chemotherapy in a week or two. I have a bit of anxiety. I don't know what the side effects are yet. I really hope and pray that they're not harsh. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the update. If you guys have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. I don't know, I need to mess with the settings on YouTube because it doesn't notify me when I get comments, and it really bugs me because I want to be able to, comment back right away, not days later after you've left a comment. And so if I don't get back to you right away, I do apologize, but I do check them sporadically, the videos for comments, because I want to be able to interact and start a conversation, and just make everybody feel comfortable in asking anything, and I'll be able to answer you as honestly as I can, or direct you to information that might be helpful depending on what your questions are. But I really appreciate everybody that has commented in the past. It really means a lot to me that you guys are sending your prayers, your love, your positive mojo, and all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of future videos. I don't only do cancer vlogs and updates. I kind of throw in a little bit of this and that, not too much, but I mean, I'm an amateur, as you can probably tell. But I'm gonna try and throw in some story times so that not every one of my videos is a depressing one. But anyhow, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next. Bye.